podcast, presenting you Barely Watch Podcast. Today is a mobile version. I'm in traffic. I'm on my way to the gym right now. We got the good guy, Lester Wiltfong Jr. in the building. Lester, how you feeling?
I'm doing good, man. It's a beautiful day. Beautiful day.
It's a beautiful Saturday. It's actually
Yeah.
chilly, kind of gloomy, but at least it's not negative and it's not snow on the ground.
Right? Yeah, I'll take that.
Yes, sir. All right, Lester. So, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers tomorrow. How do you feel about that, sir?
It's gonna be a tough game. I mean, the Steelers are 6-4. They're first place in the AFC North. It's funny because they're kind of like the Bears, right? I mean, they're in first place, but no one expects them to be there when the season ends. Everyone expects that they're going to get past in the standings. But look, that's still a very well coached team. Mike Tomlin's a stud. Aaron Rodgers is still Aaron Rodgers, capable of doing these things, and he's pushing to play against the Bears. So, and then of course, the Bears are everybody's hurt, right? The whole defense is out, so it's going to be a tough game for the Bears.
Yes, sir. Now, where are you leaning to, Lester? Do you feel like we will see Rodgers, or do you think we'll see the Pittsburgh Steelers back up Mason Rudolph?
So I've got so what I hear is he wants to play really bad, right? But I mean, he has a broken wrist, so I guess the Steelers have to weigh whether it's worth him playing with a broken wrist. Where I mean, I would assume if it's broken, it can get hurt worse. So I think that's what they're trying to weigh here.
Yeah.
I mean, look, this is a NFC game, so it shouldn't be a big deal for Pittsburgh. I mean, it makes more sense for them to sit Rodgers and have him ready for the AFC slate, but it's Chicago, man. Aaron Rodgers wants to stick it to the Bears one more time.
I own you. What did he say? I own you.
It's just terrible.
But okay, here's the thing, Lester. Obviously all of the Bears' wins do get negated. Oh, you guys haven't played anybody with a winning record, yada yada. Let's just say they were to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers and Aaron Rodgers does not play. Would it be the same story? Oh, you guys beat a Steelers team with no Aaron Rodgers, XYZ, blah, blah, blah.
What I say every week, I don't care, man. Let's just get the dub. That's all that matters. Look, the Bears have been bad for so long, right? They've been bad. I mean, so look, anytime you get a win, like what does Ben Johnson say? Do not apologize for getting a win. It's hard to win in that league. Go out there and get a win. Look, honestly, I mean, Aaron Rodgers is a super dink and dunk now. He doesn't push the ball downfield much. So if it is Mason Rudolph, he may give them a different dynamic. Look, Aaron Rodgers is still a Hall of Famer, so I think it'd be fun for the Bears to beat Aaron Rodgers. But me as a fan watching, I don't give a damn. I just want to see the Bears win the game no matter who plays.
Of course. Now, how possible do you think that will be, Lester, with no TJ Edwards, no Tremaine Edwards, no Noah Sewell, and possibly no Jalen Johnson? He was a full participant in practice, but like you said, like Ben Johnson said, we'll see. How is it that they can scrape by with the win, Lester, with that many players out on their defense?
Yeah, I mean, they said today that they're not going to activate. That was the report. Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, neither one will be activated. It also came out this morning that Tremaine Edmonds is possibly going on injured reserve. So that's going to be a bigger blow for this defense. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot of smoke and mirrors. It's up to Dennis Allen. I mean, what will he do? Will he play a lot of a big nickel? Because, look, the Steelers want to run the ball. They play 2 or 3 tight end sets a lot. They play an extra offensive lineman on the field a lot. So they're going to go jumbo a bit. So do you counter with with a big nickel? Because I know you don't really have the linebackers to play, so maybe you have more Jonathan Owens in there as a third safety. Maybe they play more 5 defensive linemen because look, Montez Sweat has some experience playing outside linebacker from his days with Washington, so he may be able to cover in a pinch. So look, from a schematic standpoint, I'm really, really interested to see how Dennis Allen matches up and what he does. He's had a whole week to prepare for this, so I'm interested to see what wrinkles he comes up with on defense. Yeah, it seems like DeMarco Jackson has been the first linebacker up lately. He has some experience on defense. Ruben Hippolyte's had plenty of games where he was inactive, but at this point, you got to play him. Amen Agbangbinga, maybe get some reps too. He's mostly special teamer, but I would expect him to play. And plus, they may elevate someone from the special team. They just signed Reese Maben, a veteran. If he's ready to go, he may jump in there. They may elevate Carl Jones Jr. So I mean, it's going to be, like I said, a lot of smoke and mirrors. A lot of backups are forced to play. So again, will they play five line? Yeah, next man up, exactly.
Johnson, next man up
Yep. Yep.
mentality. And I mean, looking pretty good so far for them. But obviously, with our best guys out, Lester, do you see the Bears scraping a win? Or obviously, you can't win them all, Lester. Well, just let me and the fans know what you're thinking. Me and Elena want to know.
Yeah, I think they have a chance. Again, it's going to be a shootout. I think if the Bears win, they're going to have to put some points up, right? Because they're. But then, of course, do the Steelers want to play slow down game? Because they play a lot of slow down games because they want to run the ball so much. Running the ball
Mm-hmm.
is something the Bears do well, so maybe they'll agree to do that and just kind of play it slow. But look, you got to push it downfield. You may have to turn Caleb loose this week if you're going to pull out a win because the Steelers are going to score because
Mm-hmm.
your defense is so depleted. So this may come down to a couple breaks here and there with a turnover or something that may kind of swing the momentum. But I think
Uh-huh.
they have a chance to win just based on the talent on the field. But again, it's hard to predict with all those injuries.
So, who are you giving the final go ahead win to? Steelers or Bears, Lester?
All right, man, let's go. 23-21 Bears.
Whoa! Let's go!
Let's
Let's
go.
go! Hey, look, you know how much has to happen for us to do that. We need Caleb Williams to go for at least 250 passing yards, 2 to 3 touchdowns, whether that's running or throwing it. We
Yeah.
need at least 2 picks on the defensive side of the ball because one thing about the Bears is when they don't get the takeaways, Lester, for anyone when the takeaways are
Yes.
not happening. We saw that really in the Baltimore Ravens game. If you don't get the takeaways, the defense just looks crazy.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to say the Steelers will take this one. And that's okay. That's okay. You cannot win the ball. I mean, everyone's expecting us to go 7 for 7 these last
Yeah.
7 games. You gotta assume that there's gonna be some losses in there. Like the luck is gonna unfortunately run out at some point in some time.
Yeah, the luck's there. I mean, the one thing nice is, like I said, at least they were preparing for this. They kind of realized that they're going to be missing all those linebackers. Like I said, it's Dennis Allen's a good defensive coach, so kind of seeing what he has
Mm-hmm.
cooked up there against the Steelers maybe will be fun to see. But yeah, it'll be tough to overcome those injuries. And then, of course, man, Aaron Rodgers, if he plays, he's going to want to get out there and stick it to Chicago one last time.
My thing with this Lesser is, like you said, it's really not worth it to put him in with that broken wrist. It's the good thing is that it's on his non-throwing arm, right? But that can still affect things when you go to hand off the ball and these snaps and all of that as well too. But here's the thing: is can you promise him that you're not going to let him get sacked the whole game and thrown around and hit by these vicious defensive linemen and all that? Like you can't promise that. So like if he does play, you run the risk of, like you said, doing more damage as you guys get ready for your playoff push as well too. Me personally, I don't think he'll play. I just know that this is Aaron Rodgers' game to keep people on the edge of their seat, to keep people guessing, and like
Yeah.
you said, smoke and mirror, cause the media hype, cause people to talk about it, and obviously when game time they say, oh, it was a game time decision. Aaron Rodgers will not be playing today. XYZ.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, that's interesting to see. I mean, they did today mention that he is still questionable. No decision has been made. They did upgrade a couple other players, so if they wanted to upgrade them, they could have. They're making the Bears think, right? They're going to take us down to game time and make the Bears think about it all the way up till 90 minutes when they make their inactive announcements.
Would you think?
Yeah, I mean, the report today was they're hopeful they get him back for the Black Friday game against the Eagles. That's kind of always what I
Mm-hmm.
figured made the most sense. You're not going to bring him back this week and have him play again in 5 more days.
Mm-hmm.
Give them a little more time to get ready to go. Like you said, they both were full participants. So if they're practicing in full, they got to be pretty dang close. They have one
Yes,
more
sir.
week to get their bodies right, and I think they'll be good to go for the Eagles.
Now, do you think it'll take a little bit of readjusting for those players. Obviously, we saw Kyler Gordon come in for a game or two. I just feel like Jalen Johnson would have to do a lot of more readjusting. What's your thoughts on that, sir?
Yeah, it depends how much Jalen Johnson was able to condition. It's a groin injury, the core injury. I don't know a lot about exactly what went into it, but I do know that within days after surgery, he was out walking around like doing stuff on his Instagram. So he was able to move. He wasn't cooped up, so maybe he was able to run. Who knows? So, and then with
Mm-hmm.
with Kyler Gordon, it's a calf. So again, did that prevent him from conditioning? If it did, he may need the full 21 days. But if he was able to get some work in, play him. I mean, look, if they're ready to go, they got to play. I mean, this is the Bears now. They're in a playoff push. So if you're ready to go, if the doctors give you the all clear, get your ass out there and play.
Yes, sir. Now, let's say they do come back next week. Let's just say they happen to beat the Steelers and they're looking at playing the Eagles and they get a couple players back. What could that game possibly look like with a healthy lineup?
Yeah, I mean, we're still talking the defending champs. That's a very, very good team over there. They have had some offensive dysfunction with the AJ
Mm-hmm.
Brown stuff, the Jalen Hurts stuff. I mean, there's been some stuff going on, but that's still an elite team, an elite roster. But
Mm-hmm.
again, if the Bears are clicking on offense, they can score with anybody. I mean, they're a top 5
Yes, sir.
offense right now. Philly's defense is really good. So look, I'm just excited to see the Bears playing meaningful football in November. That's
Yes, sir.
has been a while.
Now, did you see? I'm pretty sure it was just chopped up and worded that way. But did you see the scout team for the Steelers mimicking Caleb Williams and how he spins out and eludes the defenders and all that?
Yeah, that's a thing. A lot of teams do that. They'll try and find a guy that can mimic the opposing quarterback if he's elusive. But
Mm-hmm.
that's fine. I mean, if that's what they want to do, if they want to try and do that, I mean, I saw one of the Steelers beat writers talking about how Caleb has X amount of fumbles. Well, there's a lot of context in those. A lot of those fumbles were charged to him when they were like missed handoffs or missed snaps. That's just
Mm-hmm.
how it gets hampered. There has not been a lot of strip sacks this year from Caleb's. He's been pretty good protecting the ball. So if the Steelers want to go out there and waste their time, trying to chop at the ball when Caleb's in the pocket, then they may play into the Bears' hands and may not be tackling him soundly, and he may be able to escape and get some yards.
Of course, of course. Who has to step up on that defensive line, Lester, if they want to do anything productive without their linebackers being in?
It's always Sweat, man. It all comes down to Montez Sweat. He's the big money guy. He
Mm-hmm.
had a string there where he had several games with a sack in a row. Like I said earlier, he does have some experience playing some outside linebacker. So, you may see him, do some stuff where they play five guys across and they got to match up with a tight end. That big tight end for the Steelers, Washington. Maybe they kind of let Sweat match up on him once in a while. So
Mm-hmm.
again, what's the plan from Dennis Allen? It's going to be fun to watch.
Of course, of course. And what type of game does Caleb Williams has to have? Obviously, we got to put points up on the board, but what type of game should we rely on from him in order to come out victorious?
Yeah, the last I saw the weather, it's supposed to be pretty nice. It's no rain, no snow. It's going to be like in the 50s, I believe. So I mean, it should be a nice weather. That's not going to hamper the game at all. So just get out there and push it downfield. Again, do what you've been doing, man. Protect the ball, play action. I think if the Bears can play what they want to do on offense, I think Caleb Field should be able to get some stuff that he needs because he's been great at pushing the ball downfield. The problem is, like we all know, is there've been some drops kind of mixed in there. So you get those drops cleaned up, some of those big plays hit. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Got it. Now, last question as we get ready to wrap up this phenomenal episode, Lester. What's the deal with Luther? Looked like he was getting majority of the reps where you're usually used to seeing Olamide Zacchaeus.
Yeah, we talked about it last week. His burden and snap count's been going up each week, slowly but surely. Right? He had that couple games where he missed. Obviously, that he didn't play, but every game he's been out there, those reps have been increasing. And last week, he had the bulk of the wide receiver 3 reps. Zacchaeus had only a handful of snaps. So this is it. Burden now, as a rookie, he has made that role. He's your number 3 receiver. Unless something happens crazy on the way out, that's how it'll be the rest of the year.
Yes, sir. Lester, we greatly appreciate you having some time for us, as always. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host with the most, Devon Booker. That was Lester Wiltfong Jr. Lester, thank you for having some time for us, sir.
Anytime, my friend. Have a good workout.
You as well.